I am 5 years old. I follow grandfather to the farm and watch what he's doing. I am 9 years old. I never want to leave this place. I always help my grandfather in the market.
Akperemo adagbaleji o. Never know boy my body now.
Aboboruku asragbaleji. Asia.
When I left home with my uncle, I didn't see my grandparents anymore. The first time I went on the lake, I wanted to escape, but I didn't know the way. When the waves crash on the water, give me strength. And the net holds me in the water, give me breath. God, do I let the net go into the deep place? Give me a life today. He told me my grandfather came for me, but he could not find me. My uncle said, "You forget about your grandfather." And he said, "Those are the people who comes for small boys."
Poli, one get him. Poli, my water is here,
So when they come, I should jump into the water and swim away.
Uncle.
Non connaît folie.
Wow, quite an emotional piece there. This is some of the rippling effect of poverty, of poor access to education. We've been talking about education this morning, and you saw the story of Fully. This is what some children are going through. This is how we create enemies to society. What are we doing about situations like this? And I can tell you that there are many more Fullies out there who need to be attended to, who need some form of rescue and salvation. What are we doing about this? Government, private entities, what are we doing? Human trafficking is a major conversation that needs to be had. And this morning, we've been joined in the studio by Leonard Akon. He's Director of Advocacy and Partnerships, International Justice Mission, IJM. And one who needs no introduction, Eugene Zuta. But today he is not singing, he is telling us about human trafficking. Eugene is Community Mobilization Specialist, International Justice Mission, IJM. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Wow. So I was watching that video and I almost tear up because I'm a parent and I know how it feels like, you know, to be taken away from your parents, your mother, your father, your grandparents, just as we saw in Fully's case. IJM, what are you doing about this?
Well, I mean, this is a major problem in our country, just like you acknowledged. For decades now, the Volta Lake, which is so beautiful, and the largest mammal lake in the world, has been a source of exploitation of children. And thankfully, over the years, successive governments have put in place a number of measures to help address this problem. And so we have the Human Trafficking Act that was enacted in 2005. We have the Human Trafficking Secretariat that has been set up within the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And then we also have the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Ghana Police Service. I mean, all these units and all these establishments are geared towards helping to address the problem. And IGM, as an organization, as an NGO, we are here supporting the government of Ghana to address this problem. So we support government in identifying these cases. And so we work with police to identify cases of human trafficking on the Volta Lake. And then we also support the police to rescue these children and arrest the perpetrators. We work with state attorneys and state prosecutors to prosecute the perpetrators to ensure that these wonderful children get the justice that they deserve. And then we also work with social workers to provide healing and restoration for these children that have been rescued. And Eugene and I are also on the team where we engage the larger community in terms of creating awareness and having conversations such as these to ensure that many more Ghanaians are aware about this problem and the fact that all of us have a role to play to end this impunity.
Right, Eugene, let me ask you, how serious is this issue in Ghana?
Like, it's as serious as just getting to the Volta Lake right now. Around this time when children should be in school, you will see children of sometimes as young as 4 years in canoes, I mean, going up and down, fishing. And according to our laws, human trafficking is the transfer of persons from one place to the other through deceit, force, or abuse of power for the purposes of exploitation. And especially for these children, if it's child trafficking, then the person is anybody below the age of 18. And so if somebody is even 17 years old, 11 months, that person is a child. And taking the person from one place to the other for that purpose of exploitation is actually trafficking, and it's so serious and ongoing.
So in moving around, you know, what would you say has accounted to the rise in human trafficking or child trafficking in Ghana? You know, where are their parents? Is it that they don't care? Is it poverty? What exactly is the problem?
I know that the first thing that somebody will say is to go straight to poverty. That issue of poverty is then prevalent in many ways. I grew up in a home where there was virtually nothing, but my parents never had the reason to take me and send me away. And so I would say that it's actually lack of enforcement. One of them is lack of enforcement of the laws that are prevalent to protect people. And also just, how do I put it? Like people just taking things for granted and people just being wicked. Let me put it that way. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, but I think I'll go with the latter because I don't know what will make you send your child away, give your child to someone. I don't know. But Leonard, so How do we solve this problem? How do we make sure that this issue of, you know, sometimes it even goes beyond children, per the definition that we just received. You find people coming into a certain community, talk to adults, you know, with a mind of getting them employment elsewhere. They travel outside the country, their passports are taken, they're subjected to terrible conditions. They can't even come back. How do we solve this?
Yeah, so Ghana is a source transit and destination community, a destination country for human trafficking. And I think that in solving this problem, like you just said, enforcing our laws is critical to solving this problem. Aside that, it's also critical for us to create the needed awareness among the general population. And I think that it's important for us as a people to report some of these cases because we see people who, under the guise of getting people employed in, say, the Gulf region or Europe, I mean, getting people to travel out of the country and then they take hold of their passport, they seize their passport, and these people get exploited. So it's important, one, create awareness. It's important to enforce the laws. Also, one critical thing that I think is important is for us to create the social structure. We need to really broaden our social services to provide care and support to some of these vulnerable families, because some of these families are really vulnerable, and so the slightest deception, they fall prey to it, and they end up trafficking their children, or I mean, desperate young people, just like we saw on our streets in this recruitment services. Thousands of young people graduate, people have gone to school and studied, and unfortunately are unemployed, and so they're hungry for jobs, they're desperate for jobs, and so when someone approaches them with some juicy deals that when you go outside you're going to get jobs, they fall prey to it. And so I believe that in as much as we need to enforce our laws, we need to really create the needed awareness. I think that we also need to expand our social service delivery system in the country to provide the needed support and the needed social protection to many vulnerable families.
You know, I'm
country.
very interested in the social protection because with children like Foley, when they are rescued, where do you take them? You know, because if they are coming from a certain environment where it's dangerous, you know, so your parents gave you up, you cannot go back to that same place. So if you are taking all these children, we are rescuing them, where are we taking them to? What happens to them, Eugene?
So currently, what we do is to work with the Department of Social Welfare.
Okay.
And there are certain certified shelters, or what we call homes, that are being regulated by the government and manned. And so we have social workers, specialized social workers that work with these children together with those homes. And then we keep them there within the confines of the law. And then they are gradually reintegrated. Now, we also do a lot of ground assessments, of home assessments of their backgrounds, and we actually look for alternatives for care for them when they are being reintegrated. So those are some of the works we do, and we actually do serious work to ensure that these children will not go back to the lake again.
Yes. Director, let me ask you this. You are an NGO. So how do you get money to do all your activities? So,
I mean, we have partners that support us. We have other non-governmental organizations and other communities that are interested in helping to address human trafficking in Ghana. And so they support us. We also have individuals that care about the problem of human trafficking and do support us. But let me add that I mean, government of Ghana, especially the Ghana Police Service, is really doing a lot to address this problem.
Okay.
But one thing that is lacking is the cooperation from citizens. I mean, many Ghanaians do not want to call out perpetrators even when they see them in their community, and I think that is a major hindrance to our collective effort at addressing this problem. If you went into some of the communities, DSW, the social workers, they really are working so hard with the limited resources they have. And I think that it's also important for us to really scale up our national interventions, our national investment in the fight against human trafficking. One, I mean, the Human Trafficking Fund, which is designated to provide care and support to survivors, is just 1 million Ghana cedis for thousands or hundreds of victims. Is not enough. And now we are hearing that government is going to slash it to 50%, which is
but I also know that you have an annual event that you do. That's the National Justice Conference, am I right?
Yes.
And a concert.
And now we have scaled it up to Arise concert.
Okay.
Arise. So it's a weekend where we have a conference and a concert where we engage our partners and we also engage the creative industry.
So are you going to do it this year, or
Yeah,
is
this
done
year
already?
it's just this Friday coming. The conference coming up this Friday.
Okay.
And on Sunday evening we are having a powerful concert.
Are you ministering?
Yes, I'm actually the main coordinator for the concert.
Okay, but you have to minister.
So I will do administration just to appease my director.
And myself.
Apart from that,
Yes.
we are going to have Coda coming through. We are going to have Pastor Helen.
Okay.
We are having Bethel Revival.
All right.
We are having Pastor Sheila from Agape. And then we're having University of Ghana School of Performing Arts and all coming through. It's going to be a powerful time. Sunday, 5 o'clock p.m. at the National Theatre. And it's free.
Oh, super.
Yeah, you only get to,
right.
register online for COVID purposes.
Right. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Eugene, and thank you very much, Leonard. So we see you on Sunday,
yes,
right?
Okay.
Yes.
5 p.m. 5 p.m. at the National Theatre.